let's bring on head of operations. That's what I'll call him for now. Head of operations of Skills Challenge Promotions over there in Saudi Arabia. Let's bring on Amer Abdallah. There he is.
Hey guys, how are you?
How you doing, man?
So here's one of the other.
I'm well. Good morning.
Here's one of the other hardest working men in boxing. I know we talk all the time about me, and we seen Wade do things. This man right here, I mean, I everything.
Yeah. Every time I look up, I see him.
Top to bottom.
Every time I look up, I see him. And I mean, I feel like I seen him in the States and in Dubai at the same time. But I mean, I didn't. But hey, my man be grinding, bro.
Yeah. Amer, tell us about Skills Challenge. Tell us about Skills Challenge Promotions and how you feel everything went the other night.
Well, first and foremost, I'm a big fan of the PorterWay Podcast. I'm a big fan of yours, Shawn. I'm a big fan of everything that you guys do. So plenty of thanks to everything that you guys do to keep the fans engaged. I think there's a lot to be said about, somebody that's fought at the highest levels that you have and had the insight of what it's like, behind the scenes, and to be able to share that. So thank you for all you do, Shawn.
You got it. Thank you.
Listen, I mean, I've been a part of Skill Challenge now Promotions. This is our third fight. This is the first one where I've come aboard full time, and Prince Patrick asked me to come on and offered me this tremendous opportunity and responsibility and being able to take the promotion to different areas, and that area is to be able to put on big fights, bigger fights than we have been putting on, better fights than we have been putting on. Even every single time that they put on a great fight, the next thing is how do we top it up? How do we top that show? How do we make a bigger fight, a better fight? And I think this fight that we did, I'll tell you what, numbers wise, nothing has come close to this. Nothing in recent times, and I'm not really able to disclose all of the numbers at this stage, but I'll tell you what, it's record-breaking numbers. Nice. It's record-breaking numbers that we're seeing. And, the promotion really, it wasn't a full-fledged promotion until the last 2 weeks.
Right.
And could you imagine what would have happened if we had, 4 or 6 weeks to promote this thing, 3 months like a regular promotion? So Skill Challenge is head by His Highness Prince Khalid bin Abdulaziz. Of course, he has the backing of the Ministry of Sport and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which means, there's a lot of power there. And he wants to put on great fights, and he'll stop at nothing to make sure that the fans and the fighters are all well taken care of, which means that everybody in the business will be happy, because the promoters that have the fighters are going to get their fighters on a big stage and get financial reward from that. So it's going to be phenomenal for everybody, and looking forward to our next event, which we're already planning.
And Amer, a lot of people see you around. They probably don't know what you do and this and that. Hey, how'd you get your start in boxing?
I had a career in kickboxing, and I had a great career, a blessed career. I was world champion. I defended my title.
Okay.
After my first pro fight, August 20th of 2000, a close friend of mine at that time was Angel Man Freddy. Okay. You guys remember the great Angel Man Freddy, and he flew in to work my corner, and he surprised me with that. And we were always very close. And my heart was always attached to boxing, and I think one of the biggest regrets that I had, not that it's a regret, but if I would have changed anything, it would have been I would have probably transitioned from kickboxing to boxing, because that's where my heart always was. But I had a great career. I won a world title, and after my first pro fight, I fought under the promotion of a very good friend of mine. He's still a very good friend of mine, but I didn't understand the business. After my pro fight, I got a check for $250.
Oh, hold on.
I said, man, this is probably not even going to cover our dinner tonight. Yeah. So I said, and I had done well. At that time, I was 3-time national champion, and I thought, there's got to be a better way to this thing. So I took some time and I started understanding the business of boxing, the business of kickboxing, the business of promotions. And I always say, I was the first fighter to ever promote themselves back at that time, before any of the fighters were back there promoting themselves. And I learned the business. I would for my events, I would make the matches, I would book the venue, sell the sponsorships, sell the tickets, do all of the marketing. Pick up the truck, back it up to the garage, load the ring, set up the ring at the venue, label the tickets or the seat numbers. Yeah. And then I would fight on the card. And that, so I've touched every part of the game. I had a gym, I coached guys. As New York State's divided up into 2 segments. I was in the upstate part, so I even was the head coach for the New York State Golden Gloves for a few years. I've coached, I advised, I promoted, I fought. I trained guys. I think I don't want to say success, but I think that's what gives me the experience of where I am, is I've touched every part of it. So I kind of know what every player in their position is thinking and what they want out of it. And that's what makes, everything work very smoothly. And here I am now, after I retired in 2018, I'm full-time in the business side of it. And thank God it's been blessed, man. We're doing some great things, and we'll continue to do great things, and just humbled by great people around us, and just keep everything very positive and everything on the up and up, and do everything with the highest levels of integrity.
Oh, hey man, after this weekend, man, I ain't gonna lie, you got a money glow to you right now. You got
it's a little different, right?
Everything look different right now. Hey, that's a money beard right there, boy. Yeah. Hey, he just didn't know. That's why he said, I ain't want to do nothing. I know the IRS is watching.
I know they watching.
Well, we do everything the right way, man. There's a lot of legal loopholes that are out there.
Don't snitch on yourself. Don't snitch on that.
Listen,
we got a great team of lawyers and attorneys and accountants that make sure that everything is done right.
That's good.
I want to talk about the co-main event real quick, the main event, and then I want to talk about skills challenge, and then we'll get you out of here. First of all, know that you are extremely connected to Badou, have been for a number of years now. What did you think about that fight, and did you cry?
Come on, man. The second part of that's a loaded question because you're just standing right there.
Yeah.
2017 was the first time I
you could go back to the back room at some point. You lay down with your wife and you reflect on the night. You're like, oh my God, Badou did it.
So we do that for you.
We cry for Shawn. I'm trying to show my podcast, that it's okay to cry. Yeah.
Right, I got you. Right. Okay. All right. So I've been with Badou since 2017 for the Mayweather-McGregor fight when he won his second world title against Nathan Cleverly. Mm-hmm. And when I got him, I thought, man, I wish I would have gotten him earlier in his career. And I told him that, in the United States, you're just another champion. You're just another guy. I think what we really have to do is mark you where people need a hero, and Muslims at that point were really looking for a hero. Before the Habib, before all of these guys, we didn't have any. It was between the Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson. We needed somebody, and the Muslim world needed him. So I took him to the Middle East and started, marketing him there, and he caught like wildfire. And he had a great, he fought champion after champion, 8 world champions back to back. I developed a great relationship with him. I genuinely love the guy. I mean, he is one of my favorite people in the world, not in boxing, in the world, just as a friend, as a brother, everything that he stands for. So it makes, sometimes when you promote a guy or you manage a guy and you have that connection with them, and that's where the whole concept of home team started. It wasn't just my fighter. That was my guy. That was my brother. Mm-hmm. So it makes things that much more valuable, that much more meaningful, and that's how it grew, and then it developed, and it grew into everything that it was. We started Badou Jack Promotions, we started Badou Jack Foundation, we started a nutrition line, we did a whole bunch of things that set him up for his life after boxing. Mm-hmm. And then he told me, I said, "What else do you want to do?" Because I wanted to win a 3rd division world title. Said, all right, and that's what we do. And we started getting him the right fights, the right relationships. And we started promoting him in the Middle East. He fought in Dubai twice. He fought in Abu Dhabi. He fought in Saudi Arabia. And then Saudi caught eye of him, and Prince Khalid said, "Listen, let's give him the shot." And he said, "Make the fight happen." Yeah. I said, "You do realize we're going to be working with Don King, right?" He said, "Make the fight happen." Yeah. So and I'll tell you, to Don's credit, he was very easy to work with. It was an easy fight to make. We made it, and I sat with Badou, and I told him, I said, "I'm going to step back as your manager because now I'm the skill challenge, and Prince Khalid brought me on board. I'm going to give you this opportunity, but you've got to deliver. I'm going to do my part. You do your part." And he did. And as soon as the referee waved it off, man, I just fell to my knees and I prostrated, and I just thank God. It was such a journey that everybody counted him out. The old man, his last fight before that, he didn't have a great performance. He looked like shit. It was an off night for him. And a lot of people counted him out. His time is done. He's over the hill. He's washed up. Why is he still fighting? But then he got the opportunity, and man, did he show up.
I didn't say all of it like that, but I mean, I definitely thought that this was a fight that was going to be extremely hard for Badu because I knew how hard Makabu was coming. But I mean, excellent game plan, and excellent execution. Let's talk about the main event real quick too. You guys put that together.
But hang on, I got to answer your question about the crying.
Well, we know you cried. So.
After I cried. Yeah, and Prince Khalid said to me, he goes, "Stop crying. You're in the ring. Stop crying." So I said, I can't. He goes, "I'm going to kick you out of the ring if you keep crying." So he looked over, and Fadi from Boxing Arabia is crying. He's like, "What are you guys doing?" He goes, "Stop crying."
Yeah.
and then Michael Buffer turned away from the camera, and he's crying.
No, he wasn't.
What are you about?
Everybody. Oh, Michael Buffer.
Telling everybody. He's just telling on people.
Well, no, I'm telling you, I just don't want to be the only one crying in the ring.
Yeah.
And Michael Buffer's wiping, the tears. He's wiping the tears under his glass, and he goes, "This is a Cinderella story. This is such a special moment."
Oh yeah, he looked
and
over.
We just kind of all just stood there.
Yeah, he looked over the ring and he said, "This is a Cinderella story." Yeah.
And he was crying. We just shared that moment that it was just so spectacular.
Yeah.
As soon as I embraced Badu, I broke down again. Man, what an amazing moment.
Yeah. And then the main event, of course. First of all, congratulations on everything you've done with Badu.
Thank you.
And for Badu, I mean, you have done a terrific job.
Thank you, brother.
Helping him and his family, and the list goes on. So thank you for that, and congratulations with all of that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then, real quick, the main event. I mean, that was a blast.
Man,
I didn't know. I didn't know how Jake would how Tommy would handle that pressure under the lights there. It's a new stage for him.
Yeah.
He's never been the main event. He's never had that kind of pressure. Now Tyson has nothing to do with Tommy. I think a lot of people mix that up. He's come from a Fury family, right? But Tommy hasn't been there. And mind you, he's a beautiful kid. He really is. He's a nice kid, really well-mannered, and I just didn't know if he had that dog in him, but he showed that he does have the dog in him. But I'll tell you what, Jake showed that he had a lot more skill than most people thought. And I said if it ever got into a dog fight, that Jake would probably come up on top because he's been there before. But Tommy showed that he could do it. Tommy showed that. I think that it was a very, very close fight. It really was. And I think a split decision is probably a plausible call. There's a controversial point that was in there. I'm a big fan of the WBC, so I don't want to talk ill of their officiating and their refereeing, but I think that was, I don't know if it was justified and warranted. That could have changed the tempo of the fight. It could have certainly changed Jake. I will say this, and I know Jake's been catching some heat over it. I know he was sick, and I know there was actually a point where they were going to pull out of the fight, but Jake did not want to. He had some things that he was going through, and I told Nikisa, his business partner, I said, "Listen, if you guys aren't comfortable with this, pull out." And he goes, "If it was up to me, I would, but Jake doesn't want to." So, but you know what? Good on him, man. He showed up and he put on a great performance. I don't think anybody lost that night. I think Jake showed that he could hang in there with a real guy. Tommy showed he was a real guy. The fans, and Shawn, you saw the electricity that was there. It was amazing. We had and look at all the stars that were there. Ronaldo was there, Kevin Hart, Mike Tyson, Deontay Wilder, Shawn Porter, Devin Haney. Celebrities and influencers. But it was a beautiful night. I got to catch my flight, so I got to kind of run here. But I'm heading to Dubai. We're celebrating with Badu tonight. Yeah.
One more thing. Just tell everybody about Skills Challenge, and then I'll finish up with my thoughts on Skills Challenge. We'll get you out of here, and I'll finish up my thoughts on Skills Challenge. But I just want everybody to know the name and what it is.
Skill Challenge Promotions, which will stem from Skill Challenge Entertainment Enterprises, head up by Prince Khalid Abdulaziz, is the newest promotion that's in boxing. And what our goal is to put on the biggest fights, the best fights, work with everybody, every network, every promoter, every fighter, and just put on great fights, pay these guys, what they're worth, put on phenomenal events, not let the politics of boxing cloud and prevent fights from happening, and just, keep putting on great fights. Like Prince Khalid said, it's for the fans, and for the fighters, and for the fans. And that's where we want to go. But look at that dream team, man. Look at the dream team that we put together. Like the broadcast team. You're talking about, announcers, even the announcing team, the broadcast team, Shawn, just like fighters. You got them from all different networks. You've got Radio Raheem, who's got his own thing. You've got
Christina
Buffer,
Pancho,
who usually was doing one too. Christina Pancho was doing the ESPN. You've got Andy from BT. You got everybody there. So that's what it is. This is a collaboration of everybody in boxing to continue to grow the sport for the fighters and for the fans.
There you go. Amer, thank you for coming on to the show. And when you come,
I appreciate it. Thank you for
get back
having me
to
on.
Vegas, we'll get you in the studio again.
I would love to. It would be my honor. Thank you so much. Keep up the great work, guys.
Thanks for joining the PorterWay Podcast.
Have a safe flight.
All right. Thank you.